Ryan Trahan's I've Survived on One Penny for 1 week. Day 3 just came out and it is currently #1 on trending. So obviously it is something that we need to talk about. So he starts out telling us that tonight he is going to the airport to travel from Amsterdam to somewhere else. So you want to stay to the end to find out where he's going, because I have an idea and it's really the only option. So you want to find that out. So I like that right going into it, he shows off his roommates from the hostel. And I think that's really cool because we talked about in yesterday's videos the community of the hostel, and you really see it because he's made these friends, he's met these people, and they're just kind of just a vibe. You know, they get up early and they go to Germany and they're having a good time just like him. So I do appreciate that. And also we find out that the hostel price included a key deposit. So the deal that he had of 25 euros was even better because it was just 15 euros once he got that deposit back, which is an incredible price because he would have just had to pay what? He would have sold 15 water bottles or just drawn 1 or 2 pictures to make that much money. He could do that literally every single night for the rest of the experience here. So he takes his bike to McDonald's, which is really cool. I appreciated all the pretty shots of Amsterdam, and what he got at McDonald's looked delicious and was super cheap. That's my one thing. I mean, I feel like the deals that he's getting are nowhere near what he was able to get in the States when he did this challenge. And if I were to go to McDonald's right now, I don't think I could get as much food as what we saw there. But what he ate there looked really good. I'm not big on American cheese, so that little biscuit situation he had was gross. But he did have like a croissant and coffee and this apricot spread, which was another one of those, I'm assuming, like Amsterdam-y things that, you know, I've never really seen before. But then he goes and tells us the game plan. So is just going to do some more windows today. That's the real plan. And he still has some supplies from last time, so he can use that. And he's going to go and pick up a towel so that things are easier on that end as well. And the bike allows him to get to more businesses. So that's kind of, we talked yesterday about how is he going to utilize the bike. Well, it's just going to allow him to cover more ground. And, you know, in reality, that makes a lot more sense than him trying to figure out some kind of interesting, unique way of doing it. He's already got something that works, and he's only here for one more day. So it's a simple game plan today, but we like it. And then on the way to kind of pick that up again, he runs into Mel, the guy who gave him money yesterday. And, you know, I think it's interesting that that guy is a reoccurring character now. Like, what are the odds that he runs into the same guy 2 days in a row in a town like Amsterdam? Because I'm assuming it's like a really big, like, there's a lot of people, lots of tourists. How's he running into the same guy? He purchased those towels to help his window cleaning, and I think that's a great idea because obviously he has money to spend. So if he can do something to make him more money, that makes sense to me. I don't really know if that's going to help him get clients, but it doesn't end up really being a problem in the long run. The first barbershop was willing to give him 5 euros, and I was immediately taken aback by like how nice this guy sounded. And he was just, I mean, to me watching it, I was like, I just don't know if he's going to be able to get many clients doing this. But then this guy was super nice, and I was like, well, if more people are like that, he's not gonna have an issue. And that's pretty much what happens today. Obviously he gets rejected here and there. It gives him an opportunity to meet new people. I thought the coffee shop girl, the next thing in the video was them going to a coffee shop and cleaning just this little area for $5 or something. And they gave him coffee and she seemed super nice. And I enjoy that part of the series, meeting the different people. That's my favorite part for sure. And I've never thought about this in my entire life, but when Ryan was sitting down at the Amsterdam coffee shop outside, just enjoying coffee, that's my new goal in life. Like, my new bucket list item is to enjoy coffee outside of a shop in Amsterdam, because that was just something about that made me want that so bad. It looked so nice and so pleasant. So for whatever reason, the window cleaning is going a lot better today. He finds a third place and they're just kind of like, yeah, 5 euros. I mean, why not? It's fine. They need to be cleaned a little bit, and 5 euros is like nothing, I guess, for these shops. A lot of places are willing him to do that, and none are as much as the 100 euros as yesterday, but 100 euros would be absolutely crazy. So we may not be able to top the crazy Mr. Beast level donations that are going on in the series for this water.org fundraiser. But for every new subscriber that I get this week while Ryan's doing this series, I will donate 1 cent towards the end goal of helping provide clean water for people. And so be sure and subscribe. There's this thing with Ryan where he loves to say a good bad joke from time to time. So the next shot is him standing in front of a sign. Excuse my Dutch. I obviously don't speak Dutch. It says something like, "What do Jen Morgan?" And he says, "I don't know. What are you, Morgan?" Or something like that. And it was just, I love those moments because obviously it adds a flair to the show, but Ryan is quite the character. I looked up what that means, and basically, from what I could tell, I don't speak Dutch. Once again, it says, "What are you doing tomorrow?" And I think it's supposed to make people think about their future. And it's just one of those like artsy kind of quotes you see on sides of buildings. Even you see stuff like that in America too. So I thought that was cool. But in total today, he cleaned 5 businesses and made 40 euros. So, I mean, this was a really good day of window cleaning. Obviously, he didn't go out and make $110 like yesterday, the last video, but still really fun. And then the next bad joke, I said bad joke 2 in my notes. He says he's riding a bike, and he says that he's literally running and not riding a bike. And that's just how fast he is. And I was just like, this is really good children's stuff, I think. Ryan says howdy. He has a camera angle waving at people on a boat, and he says howdy. And so I love that scene of him just kind of watching in the canal. But I realized that this is the same angle shot canal area that we found out, we looked on Twitter on the first day that he was in Amsterdam because of somebody on that boat sharing that picture. So that was really cool. And if you missed that, go and check out episode 1 and see that Twitter picture, because I thought that was crazy. I was like, is that the same exact boat with that person on it? Because if so, that is a crazy coincidence. A drunk guy comes up a little bit later while he's talking to the camera about his travel plans, and he spots the camera, and he kind of just hobbles over and squats down. And Ryan is a nice guy and laughs it off, but that would make me super uncomfortable, and I would probably need to, get him to leave me alone. And I'm not sure if the guy was drunk or what, but he definitely lost his balance, kind of toppled over, and that was a little, I don't know if that's a common occurrence in Amsterdam or what, but that was a little odd. And I think it shows that Ryan is really such a nice guy because he handled that like a champ. Ryan purchased a ticket to country number 4. And as of right now, I have a guess of what country 4 is, but I don't really know. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit here. But he's now got a ticket from Amsterdam to the next location, and then a ticket to the location that he wants to go to after that next one. So the only big ticket left is back to the US. And obviously that's going to be difficult, but he's got, after all of the purchasing he's done, he's left with 25 euros, which gives him a little bit of breathing room, and he can get to the airport and has a little bit extra to spend, I guess, for food or whatever else he needs for the rest of the day. So the Amsterdam airport, one thing that I noticed was it looks a lot less crowded and way nicer than any airport I've ever been to in America. Now, I don't travel a whole lot, but I've been to a few airports, and you see pictures of the American airports, and they're absolutely hectic. But this one looked kind of nice and open and clean and kind of artistic, and it was very, I was amazed by the Amsterdam airport. He's also able to convince a lady that works at one of the stores at the airport to give him a croissant, and she was just going to give it to him for free, but since he's got the rules where everything he gets needs to be from the penny, he actually ends up paying 5 cents to that for that croissant when he absolutely didn't have to. But I really appreciated, him being able to just step up and be, oh yeah, can I have this, is very bold. But I like that he paid for it instead of just taking it. It makes it feel a little bit less uncomfortable, like he's begging for things, which you don't really ever want that. At this point in the video, he reviews where the donations are at, and he's finally able to see that Smart Pops Trader Invincibility donation that we've talked about in other videos. The editing for that was really awesome, where they did that invincibility with all the flashback videos and the intense music. That was a lot of fun, and I thought that maybe Ryan would get a little bit emotional, but that has not happened yet. But mark my words, Ryan will be crying by the end of this series, 100%. So he knows he can't be reset in tomorrow's video, and that's definitely going to affect our predictions for tomorrow. But stay to the end to get that. Stay tuned, because I've got a lot of ideas. But looking at the most current donations, I saw that the amount raised jumped up to $284,000, which is a ton of money. But looking at it, I see that Mr. Beast donated $100,000 for Feastables, just like he talked about on Twitter several days ago, which is a crazy amount of money. But I like that we see that full circle. A couple of days ago, we see Mr. Beast talking about donating a lot of money to Ryan, and now he's actually doing it, which is really cool. And that shows that this Twitter stuff that we're doing here is actually bleeding into the videos, and we're getting good information here, which is a lot of fun. And I'm glad that we're kind of spending our time looking at the tweets. And speaking of, let's go ahead and look at the tweets for today. I only have 3, but one that I saw was this guy named Ellie. They just picked up a stroopwafel at Buc-ee's in honor of Ryan Trahan. And I thought that was cool because it's like, oh yeah, you should totally do that. I would, if I had a stroopwafel that I could get right now, I absolutely would. And this looks like it's snickerdoodle flavored. So that sounds like a very fun time. I think we're going to talk about our suspicions for where he's going next. So I want to say that I saw a selfie somewhere on Twitter a few days ago of him in London with somebody else, but I have not been able to find that anywhere else. I have not been able to re-find that to share that for you guys, but I did find some comment by Nicola that says, is this a hint you're going to the UK next? And it's a screenshot from the pricing of the purchases that he's been looking into for traveling, and they're all in British currency, which is awesome. So I'm really thinking he's in London next, or maybe something like UK or something like that. And Joshua Riley comments on this and says, I think he's already here. He's a few days ahead. So that's where I'm leaning. That's where I'm banking my guess is London. For the next step, we're kind of wondering, okay, where's this step right before America? Between London and America, what's next? And Mars of Earth thinks that the next logical step before the US is Canada. And I think that's genius. I think that's 100% what's going to happen, because I think a trip from London to Canada will be a lot cheaper than a trip to America, because I don't know 100%, but I feel like Canada is a little bit less travel-y than America. It's not as much of a hot button location, and obviously America is really strict on how they get there. And I think, you know, realistically, maybe he even can take a bus into America from Canada, but I don't really know. But that's the Twitter portion of the day. Now we're going to get into the predictions part of the video, and I think based off of what we saw on Twitter, he will be in London. That's an obvious jump location for him, and I want to say that he's going to run into at least one London or UK based YouTuber, because there are too many of them not for that to happen, and I think that would be a missed opportunity, because how often does he get to collab with people like that anyways? Not super often. And I think he'll do stand-up jokes in London to make money. It's more of an English speaking place. Nobody's going to speak Dutch or French, or if they do, it's not the native tongue of the area. So I think he can get away with the funny, corny knock-knock jokes, and maybe that works for him. Maybe it doesn't. Now, I think he will make it a goal to try fish and chips to go with his baguette and stroopwafel and everything, the food theme for the episode. And if that all happens, tomorrow's video is going to be incredible, and I cannot wait. Remember to subscribe to this brand new channel, and for everyone during this series, I will donate a penny to Ryan's series. Thanks for watching.